No.
Ah, jeez. Well, you've got this album out, and you talked about Renegade. Somebody's looking at picking up Renegade, which I think is completely awesome. Um, the one thing I noticed is kind of the underlying. Well, first let me state the obvious. One of the underlying themes of this album is time. Give it time.
Right.
And the other, and it hit especially home with me, especially at this stage in my life, is just the sadness and the grief that we all have to deal with, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
One song
Yeah.
in particular, "Can I Smile Today?"
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it's personally I can relate to that on any number of levels, but it's like, damn, geez, it's one thing after another. Damn it, can I smile today?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. People always tend to focus on the rockers, but I like the ballads. I love rising to the challenge of penning a good, strong ballad, and that song proposed specific challenges to us in the studio. I mean, that was like one of the last ones that we really tackled. We kept
Right.
putting it off, and we would go down there into the studio and be like, oh man, fuck, this ain't working. It's and it really did come out, you know, bigger and heavier than I anticipated. What we did with the production and the thickness we added to the song. But I'm really pleased with the way that one came out. And yeah, that song, that song, the way that came together, it was bits and pieces of different things I was working on. And as a matter of fact, like good part of that hook was something that I was writing during the when the wife swap thing was going on here.
Right.
It was like after the crew had gone back to the hotel, and I was just here. Uh, Faith and I. Faith was in bed, and I'd be sitting up. You know,
Right.
looking back at the day, going, "What the hell was that all about?" So I, yeah, have a little smoke, pour a little drink, and I was working on that thing, and so I kind of had the hook and the meat of that thing, and it was just lying around for a while, and then finally I'd come back to it time and time again, and there it was, often, and that's what's magical about songwriting, how it never ceases to amaze me is sometimes I don't even know where these things come from. They
Right.
just it's not, you don't just sit down like, oh, here it is, wrote a song. It's like kind of like dreams. A piece here, a bit there, and sometimes you have that same dream again, and you never really know what the hell it's all about.
Right.
And then till it reoccurs so many times where you can go, oh, okay, yeah, I keep having the same thing, and that's what it's about. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up "Can I Smile Today" because I that song and its placement on the album, it is like the seventh song. It really it kind of like it's kind of like the midway of the album where it kind of like finally slows it down because
Mhm.
everything before that's just balls to the wall,
Yeah.
and then from there it kind of goes in a different direction.
Yeah, I noticed the placement on the songs. It really takes you on a journey just to listen to it. And it's one of the ones, there's a lot of albums out that you can just pick a song and go with it. Yours truly has to be listened to from start to finish.
Well, I try to do that. I'm one of these old guys that still writes albums, that still makes albums with that in mind.
Mhm.
I don't. I'll go in the studio and go, okay, let me think about who's going to want to download which song, and order doesn't matter. Let's throw a bunch of shit at the wall. And this does have a theme. You know, um, yeah, because my Denise, my wife, she said to me the other day, she's like, man, you talk about time a lot in this album. Just whenever their song is time this, time that. Like, yeah,
Right.
and I didn't even realize I was doing it so much. It's like it's not like I sat down and said I'm gonna write a bunch of songs that deal with the concept of time, the passage of time, or the time going fast, or being patient, or how it appears. Uh, throughout themes and the universal complexity of it, because I am amazed with it. It's I think that's just, I mean, the album rocks. It's a hard rocking album. It's not like I did Dark Side of the Moon or something, but in some ways I think it's kind of like that sort of journey where one song leads to the other, and it asks questions, and it tries to nothing's ever really answered, because who can answer the mystery of time, and we haven't really mastered time and space, because if it controls us,
right.
Because one day we look around and 10 years and 20 years is gone, and the very last song, When, my 6.5 hour epic there, which there's a line in there where it says, time is a deceiver. It's got us in its grasp, and that's how I think of it. We all have our enemies. We draw a line in the sand, and whether it's terrorism or conflict you're having with relationships yourself or whatever.
Right.
I think mankind's ultimate enemy is time. It's ruthless. It doesn't let go, and the only way to deal with this enemy is to make the best of it. Because we currently do have we have control what we do with our time, but it doesn't stand still long enough for us to really, I think, ever make full use of it. And I mean, I don't know if I'm making any fucking sense.
No, you actually are. Don't worry.
I think it just, I don't know. To me, we all waste it. Yeah. I have, but I can only speak for myself. I'm 52 years old, and I think everyone. I can't speak for everyone, but myself personally. We ask ourselves, what's the meaning of life? Well, that's a ridiculous question. I mean, I remember, you growing up with that, being young and being posed that question, and then, what is it? And so I think that gives rise to religion, and then religion finds its way to control us, and whether the meaning of life is God or it's this or it's that, but there is no meaning of life that for the masses that's conformity kind of meaning, where this is the answer. It's an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
My what I think is the meaning of life might not be the meaning of life to somebody else. I think the meaning of life is what you make of it. It's the reality you create. It's the reality you perceive, and it's what you do with your allotted time. It's what you make. We're all the directors of our own movie. I look at life as everyone's life is a movie. You are, and in this movie of life, you are the director, you're the co-director, you're the producer, you're the actor, and you also are you're the backstage hand. You're the creator of the stage. All the world's a stage, but we create where we're going to be on the stage of life, where we're going to be, are we going to exit right or exit left? It's all up to us. And there's shit that controls us. We got to get up, right. We got to do this, we got to go to work, we got to deal with that. But everything that we deal with on a daily basis is the end result of conscientious choices we've made throughout our lives, and we're all where we are as a result of all the decisions we've made, and
right.
And I think time is. I'm very obsessed with it. I mean, I read a lot, and I read a lot of biographies, but like in the last year